Perhaps that's better. Hello, I'm Anthony Weinmar, and this is the Weinmar Republic. Now on a better camera! Now if only my laptop will render the video. No, I'll probably have to run it up upstairs. Today is July the 14th, and that means Bastille Day. France's national holiday celebrating the French Revolution and the seizing of the cruel, tyrannical fortress known as the Bastille. Or so we're supposed to believe. By the time the French Revolution happened, actually, the Bastille was scheduled for demolition, and only had actually one prisoner in there. Or two, actually, depending on reports. The only reason why it was to be seized was because in preparation for the demolition, there was a whole bunch of gunpowder there. Like, tons and tons of the stuff. In Paris, the rebels had just seized the Invalides, and they had muskets now. Plenty of guns. No gunpowder. So, Bastille. And at the end of the day, when the rebels seized it, the rebel leaders had to pass it off as a big victory for the revolution, even though it wasn't exactly what it was supposed to be. This carries in a long, grand tradition, as far as revolutions go, of greatly exaggerating the impact of certain events in it. I have a classic case in point right here. Victor Hugo's Les Miserables, which is a guide, or which one of the major events in the book is the June Rebellion in Paris, which was an abject failure, as anyone who's read the book or seen the stage musical or even the 2012 movie can tell you. It just didn't work out. But Victor Hugo has greatly exaggerated its importance, and it's one of the most successful books ever. Also one of the longest. I'm bringing this up as kind of more of a tide over till my next great video, or next longer video. Also as a new experiment with my camera, or rather this webcam. But anyway, other revolutionary events that have been greatly over-exaggerated was the taking of the palaces in St. Petersburg in the Russian Revolution, which reads more as a comedy of errors in the end than a great victory. It started out with a messenger delivering an ultimatum to the State Duma. He had to go there on bike. And the idea was that the provisional government there would have to answer with a red lantern, or else a battleship that was anchored in the harbor, and the fortress of Peter and Paul would open up their cannons on the palaces. They couldn't find a red lantern, there was a lot of running around. They finally did this, or at least wrote a note for the messenger to take back to his superiors, and by the time he got out of the palaces, his bike had been stolen. So the battleship and the fortress opened fire on the palaces and fired 300 rounds of blanks, the only ammo they had. So nothing was happening. So the Red Army sent their divisions in to take the palaces. Well, the head of the provisional government left, just up and left. And it turned into a bit of a brouhaha once the Red soldiers discovered the wine cellars. Huge wine cellars, the largest private wine cellar in Europe at that time. And quickly depleted it. Very quickly. As in, they bricked it up once they passed out. Once the soldiers passed out, their superiors bricked it up. They used grenades to burrow their way back in. And drank everything, raped the local women's battalion. It was a gong show. Well, that's all the time I kind of have. I'm kind of running on a tight schedule. Until next time.